Hey girlies, I wanted to let you know what I've discovered. I've noticed certain traits when a relationship is going to be toxic. They all started the same, they all had the same red flags. It started with love bombing, saying, I've never felt this way before. If you ever hear, I've never felt this way before, that's a huge red flag. Every single toxic relationship I have ever been in, the person has said that to me. And I think it's because they want you to feel significant. They want you to feel like this is something special to them so that you don't doubt or question them in the future. Let's see, what's next? They push your boundaries. They test you to see if you will cave on things that you said you wanted to wait on, or standards that you have for yourself, to see how flexible you are in your own standards and values. They'll push for physical intimacy faster than you're comfortable with. If you set limits on not sleeping together or something like that for a certain amount of time, they will try to turn you on. They will try to do everything they can to get you to break that boundary with yourself. And then that leads to poor self-esteem, of course, because you feel crappy over, abandoning your own boundary. And when you do that, it kind of makes you more likely to settle for less than what you wanted. Okay. What else? Saying I love you way too quick. Well before they could even know you well enough to know that they love you. Another thing, they will ask a million questions about you, and they will encourage you to go deep or trauma dump or say all the things, all the vulnerable things about yourself and your life. But when you ask them about their life in return, you get quite short, not very deep answers. Next, they were never the problem in their previous relationships. They just had bad luck. If they describe their exes as crazy, if they never say to you anything about what they've ever done wrong in a previous relationship, huge red flag. Because people who are genuine and not trying to, they're capable of seeing their own flaws, right? But toxic people are not capable of seeing their own flaws. They genuinely think that they're the victim, and they've always been the victim, and they just have bad luck. Okay, what else? They really like to show you affection in public. When you're out in public, you might see a slightly different side to them than when you're alone with them. When you're alone with them, you might experience more feeling kind of isolated, alone, like you have less of their attention. But when you're out in public, their full attention is on you. And they might be making physical gestures of like possession, having their arms around you all the time, kissing you a lot, things like this, like very demonstrative, shows of affection in public. Hot and cold behavior is another one, when they're really intense sometimes, and then other times they seem really withdrawn, and there is a lack of consistency in their behavior. They have this weird, relationship with the honeymoon period. They insist on it. They want you to fall deeply for them. They want you to eat up all of the love bombing type behaviors that they're showing you. And then when they declare that the honeymoon period is over, you will see them switch up behavior. They will change basically how they respect you, how much attention they give to you. And it's not like the honeymoon period isn't a real thing. It's just they kind of use it as an excuse to show certain types of behaviors, but not have to be consistent in the end. They use it to hook you, and then once you're hooked, they default back to less effort, less attention, less time, less focus. And that's also another big red flag. Consistency is important from beginning to end. At the beginning, sure, you can want to spend a lot of time together or want to talk a lot and things like that. But the interest in you as a person should not decrease over time, even after the honeymoon period is over. And those are just a few, but it's definitely been a pattern. Every single toxic relationship I've had has had those elements at the beginning. And it took me a long time to realize that meant it was toxic, because we're conditioned in our culture to think that those things mean true love. Those things mean that somebody's really attracted to you and it's really going to be this happily ever after thing in the end. But that has not been my experience. So just sharing those nuggets with you. If you're starting to wonder, if you're starting to notice these patterns yourself, this video is your confirmation that this is probably an unhealthy dynamic, and you can test it by trying to slow it down. Tell them you want to take it slow. Put up some boundaries, to protect yourself, and see how they react to it, because their reaction to your boundaries is information too. So stay safe out there. I hope you find a good one. Bye.